Ice. We know it as a place of extremes, of biting winds and eternal winter, a frozen desert where time seems to stand still. But that apparent stillness is deceptive. Beneath the ice lies a history waiting to be uncovered. In 1985, a discovery shook the scientific community to its core. A team of archaeologists unearthed a skeleton half buried in the icy sands of a remote Antarctic beach. The bones belonged to a young woman who, according to carbon dating, had died roughly 200 years earlier. Here was a mystery that shouldn't have existed. How could there be human remains in a place that was supposedly devoid of human history? And if she had lived there, why and how? Who was she? Her name is unknown. We only know her as the Antarctic woman. Her story began somewhere in the icy south, perhaps in Tierra del Fuego, the southernmost tip of South America. Here, nestled between the churning waters of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, lived the Yagan people. They were masters of the frigid sea, navigating in small canoes and surviving on the bounty of the icy waves. Our Antarctic woman was one of theirs, born into a culture shaped by the endless winter. When she was just 14, her bones show signs of a fracture, healed but not forgotten. Life on the edge of the world was dangerous. Perhaps she fell while gathering shellfish or was injured in a fight. Her body bore the scars, but she survived. By age 18, her bones reveal a young woman in good health, ready for the hardships of a hunter-gatherer existence. But when her journey to the icy shore began, she was a little older, maybe 20, 22, with the strength of youth and the skills of her people coursing through her veins. Then, one day, driven by the calls of the sea, she and her people boarded their canoes and paddled out into the endless horizon. What propelled them? Was it a need for resources, exploration, or a thirst for the unknown? We may never know. How she got there. There are two possibilities, each more incredible than the last. The first ties her fate to the maritime industry of the 19th century. Back then, the Southern Ocean was a hunting ground for sailors seeking oil and pelts. Sealing and whaling ships from Britain, the US, and South America combed the frigid waters. It was a brutal profession, and many crews pushed farther south than any before them. Imagine our young woman as a captive on such a ship, stolen from her people and forced into a life of drudgery. Or picture her as a Yagan woman who joined the crew willingly, perhaps as a translator or guide. Either way, the ship ventures too far and disaster strikes. Storms, shipwrecks, and disease claimed many lives back then. And our young woman finds herself alone, perhaps washed ashore on the unforgiving coast of Antarctica. This theory is supported by the items found near her remains, including shards of European ceramics and metal tools. But the second possibility is nothing short of astonishing. What if our Antarctic woman wasn't brought to Antarctica, but arrived under her own power? At the time, the Yagan people were known to venture farther than any other known civilization. Their canoes cut through the icy waters, carrying daring explorers and resource gatherers. Imagine a voyage led by a skilled navigator who charted a course farther south than any before him, venturing into the icy embrace of the Antarctic Peninsula. This theory finds support in the makeup of the Yagan people. Their bodies are smaller, yet robust and wiry, perfectly suited for the cold. And consider the ice conditions at the time. Scientists believe that during certain periods, massive ice shelves extended far into the ocean, creating bridges between distant lands. Could the Yagan have used these natural paths to reach the frozen continent? The idea is audacious, yet tantalizingly plausible. What happened next? Her arrival on the shores of Antarctica would have been a monumental feat, but how did she spend her final days? The answer lies in the details of her bones. Her teeth reveal a diet rich in seafood and seaweed, a staple of the Yagan diet. Isotope analysis of her bones paints a similar picture, showing that she subsisted on marine life in the months leading up to her death. Far from the salted meat and hard tack that sailors ate, her bones whisper of a diet that sustained her people in their native waters. These findings point toward a young woman who didn't merely survive on a ship, but lived a life deeply connected to the sea. Whether she arrived as a captive, a willing traveler, or an explorer, she retained the traditions and customs of her people. But how did she die? The cold Antarctic sun beats down mercilessly, while blizzards can sweep across the landscape in an instant. Hypothermia and exposure are ever-present dangers. Perhaps she succumbed to these elements, her body succumbing to the icy grip of Antarctica. Or maybe she fell ill, struck down by a sickness that ravaged her frail frame. Her final days were likely solitary, spent in a struggle to stay alive in a land that offered little respite. Whatever her fate, the Yagan people honored her in death, burying her in a shallow grave lined with stones and wrapped in seal skin. This wasn't the haphazard disposal of a sailor, but a ritual of respect, a final farewell to honor a member of their community, even in a place as alien as Antarctica. The legacy of silence. Her story remained buried for centuries, hidden beneath the ice and snow until 1985, when her grave was discovered. The news spread like wildfire. A woman, not a man, but a woman had beaten the explorers to the frozen continent. Suddenly, Antarctica was no longer a pristine wilderness, but a place with echoes of the past. Her bones challenged everything we thought we knew about human exploration, forcing us to rewrite history. Politicians jumped onto the narrative, each claiming her discovery, bolstered their case for owning parts of Antarctica. But amidst the chaos, few considered the quiet tragedy of her story. Today, her bones rest in a Chilean museum, a stark reminder of a forgotten life. As for the larger story, it continues to evolve. Scientists debate the significance of her arrival, while politicians maneuver to stake their claims on the frozen land. But in the grand scheme of things, what does it matter? Whether she was a captive or an explorer, a victim of circumstance or a pioneer of her people, her story is ultimately one of resilience. She lived a life shaped by the harsh realities of the frigid sea, and her spirit endures in the face of a world that seeks to claim and control the very land that claimed her life. From the wreckage of a sealing ship to the depths of the icy ocean, many theories swirl about the young woman of the Antarctic. But one thing remains certain. Her story is not just a footnote in history, but a testament to the indomitable spirit of humankind. Her tale challenges us to confront the limitations of our knowledge and to acknowledge the profound mysteries that still shroud our world. In a time when exploration was confined to the rugged coasts and uncharted seas, she dared to venture where few had gone before. Fueled by an unyielding determination and a deep connection to her ancestral roots, she embarked on a journey that transcended the boundaries of the known world. Her story is a potent reminder that the human spirit knows no bounds, that the thirst for discovery and the pursuit of the unknown drive us to explore even the most treacherous and remote corners of our planet. As we ponder the enigma of her existence and the motivations that guided her steps, we are challenged to confront the limits of our own understanding. The vastness and unforgiving nature of the Antarctic landscape serve as a constant reminder of the forces that have shaped her fate. Her story compels us to confront the harsh realities of a world where survival often hangs in the balance, and where the relentless elements test the limits of human endurance. As we continue to piece together the fragments of her story, we must also acknowledge the enduring legacy of those who have dared to venture into the icy embrace of Antarctica. Her tale serves as a beacon, illuminating the path for future generations of explorers and reminding us that the pursuit of knowledge and understanding knows no bounds.